Welcome to Retail's Most Wanted, the podcast that examines the latest issues related to organized retail crime and how retailers and policymakers are fighting back against today's organized crime syndicates. I'm your host, Marty Carpenter, and in this episode, we're talking with Chief Brady Cottam of the Taylorsville Police Department in Utah. He leads one of Utah's most dynamic law enforcement agencies, and he works on the front lines of tackling organized retail crime. We'll talk with him about what it takes to protect retailers and communities from the growing threat of ORC. That conversation's coming up right after this word from our sponsor. Retail's Most Wanted is brought to you in partnership with LVT, securing physical environments through intelligent automation. Learn more at lvt.com. That's lvt.com. Chief Cottam, thanks for taking some time with us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, we're at Utorka, a big event, and I'm just wondering if you could give us first an overview of organized retail crime and how it impacts your city, boots on the ground. What are you seeing in Taylorsville when it comes to ORC?
So it does affect our community for sure. It's something that I think doesn't make the news a lot, right, on a normal basis. And so, but yet the individual, when their car gets broken into or a fraud happens or obviously our stores that we all, shop in, the prices go up when they're having problems with this. And I think it definitely affects the way, as a police department, it keeps us busy. We have a lot of local shops and stores, Targets and Walmarts and all those other big stores in our city. And it keeps our officers occupied on thefts and other things that occur inside those things. So it's very, very much an impact and very much part of our police department and our community.
So it's a problem in your city. It takes time and resources from your department. What's the biggest challenge you face when combating it?
I think just focus, quite honestly, and we're like everybody else. We're focused on situations, violent crimes obviously are a big part. Sexual assaults are a big focus with our department, as all departments throughout the country, right? And when you have these other crimes and you're not able to focus where you really could nip it in the bud, I think that really, distracts from, essentially they take a side step to everything, and so you're not really focused as much as you should be. Because honestly, if you were able to put resources to it, and we try to do that in other ways, but and we've definitely tried to do that recently, I think that curbs those types of crimes.
For people who may not be as familiar with the area in Utah and the Salt Lake County area, there was a time 30 or 40 years ago when you would be able to tell when you went from one city to another, and now we've all kind of grown together, so you can run right from one town to the next town, whether it's Salt Lake County or really anywhere along the Wasatch Front. I wonder how that impacts your need to work sort of outside of your jurisdiction or work with your neighboring cities, other cities in the county when it comes to dealing with organized retail crime, because the bad guys don't really care whether they're in Taylorsville or whether they're in Murray or wherever they may be, right?
No, absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was just talking to a friend of mine about how long I've been a cop for. This is my 30th year, and
thank you for your service. Congratulations, 30 years. That's impressive.
Yeah, and just the changes that have occurred, exactly to what your point is there. We used to be able to, have a better understanding of our criminals, because they were essentially, like you said, a little bit more isolated. The gangs and other things like that used to, but now it's very, very much that, to where we have to collaborate with our other agencies. And thankfully, we've had a lot of changes. And what I mean by that is, for example, we have radios that all communicate together. When I first started, we didn't have certain channels. Certain jurisdictions that were right next door to us didn't have their radios. And our report system is now in Salt Lake County. We are all on one report system. So I can pull up an individual on that report system, and it'll tell me what they did in another jurisdiction a week ago. And so there's a lot of things that have gone on in the last 10 years even that have helped with that. And then our communication and willingness to share is really broadened, and it's so much better.
There are Taylorsville problems, and there are, say, West Valley City problems, but a lot of them are collective problems that you both have to deal with. So working together makes a big difference for you.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
What does a good partnership look like then? Not just with other jurisdictions, but with the retailers in your city. How do you work with them to make sure you're most effectively combating organized retail crime, even where it may not be a problem, and saying, we got to nip it in the bud?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to get to know people. So it's time, like anything else, and get to know people. What are some of their struggles, some of their problems that they're having? Where do they specifically need help? I can assume a large box store needs help with certain things, but I really don't know until I go in there and talk to those people and ask them and talk to them and get some more information. And thankfully, I feel like we're doing that pretty well.
The unfortunate part of not just organized retail crime, but I think crime in general, is that the bad guys tend to adapt really quickly and try to stay just a little bit ahead of the good guys. What do you need right now? What's like most pressing where you'd say, we're trying to close that gap or even get ahead of them, but we need this? What comes to mind?
Honestly, because I'm old school, I think we need to take a little bit of a step back. Technology and all the other tools that we use in policing are fantastic. My detectives are so amazing when it comes to the way they do their investigations. But what I mean by old school is, we see a lot right now, especially in the media, about some very tragic things that have gone on all over the country, and you're starting to hear this "see something, say something," mantra again, which is great. But we need that in this field too, and I certainly wouldn't want an average mom and 2 kids who are shopping at a local store to get into altercation with somebody. But if you see something, you see somebody doing something, talk to somebody. And I know it takes time, and we're all busy, but that old school mentality where a teenager, for example, just a regular shoplifter, used to go into a store, and if they were acting suspicious, a lot of times the patrons were the one that came and told the manager, hey, I think those kids are up to no good, right?
Or even there was a responsible adult who said, young man, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Right? If you go back far enough in time, that was important.
And I think we've lost some of that. And I think we've gotten people to where I don't want to get involved, I don't want to be a part of that, and again, I understand some of that.
And sometimes that's what you tell them, is let's not get involved because we don't want someone to get hurt.
Definitely, and especially when it comes to physically being involved, but certainly telling somebody that you're seeing something, and if that warrants say a loss prevention person at the local store, or even them calling the local law enforcement, we can talk to the people, figure it out, and maybe there's something to it, maybe there isn't, but either way, I really feel like our eyes and ears, we say this all the time, I've said it my whole career, are our citizens. And if they don't tell us what's going on, even those, retailers, they can't do it all. We need our public to really step up and help when it comes to that.
Yeah. Chief Brady Cottam from the Taylorsville Police Department in Utah, thanks so much for taking some time with us and for your efforts in combating organized retail crime.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Retail's Most Wanted. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, LVT. And don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button so you can catch each new episode. We drop one every 2 weeks. You can also find us on X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Links for all of those are in the show notes below. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And as always, keep up the good fight.